Oh hey. Oh hey. I didn't. Hey, I didn't see you there. Where's the camera? Hey, I didn't see you there. Since you're here, welcome to Sam's Lab. Welcome to Sam's Lab, where the code is good and the tunes are better. Hey there. Hey there. Do you ever wonder what it'd be like to be a Unity developer for a day? Have you ever imagined working in virtual reality, creating your own universe? Well, come along with me on Samuel Tate's Mixed Reality Adventure. Hey there, good morning, Twitter. I hope you're keeping safe. Remember, there's a lot of bad news in the news, but that doesn't mean you've got to get the blue. All you gotta do is shake your caboose, drink veggie juice, and look after your neighbours. And if you haven't got any neighbours, go find some. Cool. So, welcome back, everybody. Day 18. I'm slowly grinding through my what was supposed to be a 2-day hackathon. Last 2-day hackathon took me a year. Got my plan. Okay, that's my burn list for yesterday. It's the next list. Alright, cool. Cool. So, look, this week has been hectic. So I haven't actually made that much progress this week, but that's totally fine because I'll stream doing it. We are currently a week away from launching something pretty... Pardon me. We're a week away from... well, not launching, but I'm a week away from submitting the final version or the penultimate version, because there will be one more push next week. So, it hasn't been a crazy 20-hour days in a row situation like the last big project we had, because we've been super methodical. We also had we had 6 months instead of 3 months. So I'm like totally not burnt out, though like teetering, but in a good way. But this last week, it's just been like deep focus, which has been awesome. Like I think I'm like not addicted to flow, but like I try and, I seek purposeful flow. I've got to stop using the letter P. So it's been really good, but I'm super tired. But I have made some progress. I try and do a little bit every day. I chip away every morning before work. We won a Webby, which is really cool. It honestly feels super surreal and like not real, but it's just so abstract because it's just something we did last year. And, it's obviously all this coronavirus stuff. There's no party. There's no cocaine. Cocaine. I don't do cocaine or anything. I just think it's funny. It's you know what I mean. No champagne, no tuxedos. I just always assumed, I've always wanted to win a Webby, and I always assumed that I would do drugs while I was getting it. So yeah, no drugs, no Webby. Wait, no, we got the Webby, but it's all remote, so it's very strange. But it's awesome. It's something that I remember I said to Chloe, I was like, this is something that like, when I started getting into digital production, I was like, I'm going to get a Webby. Because I was like, obviously it's like such a, it's a big thing. It's a big deal. Next one, Cannes, final, Oscars, no, just the one. But yeah, it's been a grind. So I'm pretty tired. So I'm gonna be streaming this way at least till the end of the month, and then I might rethink it. I don't really know what I'm achieving by doing it, apart from occasionally talking to my friends on Twitter, who I talk to anyway. This isn't the like I'm gonna delete my social media if no one pays attention to me thing. More just like I'm gonna continue the experiment in this format for the rest of the month, and then I'll circle back around to it. People seem to connect much more with what do they connect with? The art side, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, watching someone code is, unless they're like super intentionally making it accessible, it's kind of boring. I do like this vlogging though. I honestly reckon that this would be more successful if I was just talking, and it was just a call-in radio show. I'm gonna write that down. Callback with Sam. Chatbacks with Sam. As usual, I've got the chat going, so say g'day. Ideas. Call in radio. And if no one calls, I can do like I can get Chloe to pretend to be someone else. Okay. Alright, that was only line 1 on the plan. So, where we're up to. Super stoked with the look dev at the moment. I did it. Honestly, I couldn't be happier. I'm like emotional thinking about it. Hang on, where's my intro view? Display right. Hey, look at that. Oh wait, no, you can't see it yet, can you? So couldn't be happier with. Kind of looks weird. This look dev that I've done. Actually, yeah, you know what? This is more like the intro, like the hey. So yeah, today we're going to work through. I'm just gonna make a few tweaks to the color shader and get the color right. I'm actually pretty close to what was the initial scope, which was to just have a bunch of physical responses to, visual and auditory responses to touch. And I've actually basically done that. The whole like New York apartment guy missing his wife, maybe she passed away, maybe he's in a coma, maybe she's remembering him. It's a bit of scope creep. So I might just allude to that and not actually do it all because it'll take forever. But so yeah, I'm actually coming pretty close to that. So I'm just going to like hone back in on what the actual point was to make the touch feel good. So I'm going to be, just tweaking the shader. I'll probably actually port it to sub shaders as well. And I will also be, maybe not today, like I think if you're ever listing 2 things that you're going to do in the day, you've already fucked yourself. So probably just optimizing this shader. The other thing I want to do is physicalize the plant. So basically what you can do is create an animation rig, but then just put like joints on it and then that way you can like touch it, move it around, and that way everything that's on the table will be relatively kinematic. I set up the colliders and stuff over the week. It's pretty much all I did, which is fine. You win some, you lose some. So yeah, this plant here has like all the colliders that it needs to succeed. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna make something that feels good to touch with the Oculus Quest. Thanks for tuning in to Sam Radio. Cool. Let's get it. So yeah, where I left off yesterday was trying to get, if you can see here, the clamp right for this color. So I want it to be bright red at about 80 and dark blue. Oh, that's pretty close actually. At about 70, but it's like so I'm doing like what I would call idiot maths, which is my speciality, where I just sort of like trial and error ranges and sequences, and then when anyone asks me how I managed to make it work, I'm like, I'm actually not sure. Right now I'm subtracting a negative because I'm too lazy to change it to a positive. It's an example of idiot maths. You know what, let's make it the temperature that I know as a reference. So maybe it needs to be higher. Why would that work? That made it worse. Okay. I am switching to my normal voice now, which is just like muttering. But I'll try and enunciate my. Yeah, you get it. I'm really happy with not streaming in the morning every day. I actually love my private streaming my private dev time in the morning. Oh, there we go. Okay, alright. 16, 20, 30, it's getting hotter. 40. He's done it. Alright. Cool. So, like, for anyone... So this is the temperature that's getting fed on the collision. And then that's getting passed to a gradient range, basically. Oh, that's sick. And then that is getting passed to this. She's also getting, what's this, color gradient. Anyway, I've already explained all this. Go back, watch episode 1. That's when I made this, so. It's cool. Every day you do a little bit and you're like, this sucks. And then it's like 2 months later, you're like, oh, all those little bits became a big bit. Convert to subgraph. Temperature output. Oh yeah. Now we're cooking. So what does this get? It gets the position. Oh no, okay, we can put that in the subgraph. Fuck. Like automatically organizes it for you? That's cool. I love Unity. Uh-oh. I like my little slogan here. It looks like a motivational quote. Oh fuck. Well, that's it for me. I've got no, I shouldn't joke about that. It's not funny. I personally don't think anyone should joke. Full stop. Anyone trying to joke makes me so uncomfortable. Stop trying to be funny. Stop trying to make me laugh. The only thing that's funny is absurdity. Save assets. Oh, alright. Rookie mistake. Let's commit. No, not rookie mistake, because I've realized. Stage all. Should probably get LFS going. Get LFS. Perfect. Check. Nailed texture. Look and feel. Started physicalizing. Reworking. colors. That's top secret. Okay. So, yep, cool. We've got a subgraph. Do we? Come on, Unity. You can do it. There we go. So we've now turned all of this into one node. So good. This is why I love just working through things in an exploratory manner. Like, you know, I had a question, which was how do I make a particular look? And then I went through some tutorials and I found out all this stuff I didn't know, and I didn't know I needed to know. I do believe in like also structured learning. Some people are sort of against it. It's not very trendy. But it is fun to just like throw yourself in some deep end and then just like come back with a sack of new information, like some sort of knowledge Grinch, opposite Grinch maybe, I don't know. Sorry, what did we say about people making jokes? So yeah, this subgraph means that now all these, which are repeated processes here, will all share one function, which is awesome. Oh, I don't know if you'd call it a function. Sensor 2 strength. Okay, alright, hang on. Oh, cool. So it just makes them... That's so smart. Okay, so we can just delete all this. Oh no. Create node temperature. Oh, hang on. So the one thing it's looking for is the gradient, which is... Let's just give it the gradient in here. Color gradient. That's weird. Okay. That's cool. I guess you can... Ah. That's fine. Color? No. Because look, the color gradient here is... Oh, I guess I just made it. Look at me go. Alright, cool. I was like, how could I have made such a perfect gradient? There we go. You want to know how? Sheer grit. Sheer grit. Alright. There we go. So now the gradient is also contained in the temperature converter. So yeah, basically it takes the position of the collision and compares it to compares that point on the object to that, and then creates a strength map based on that, and then it blends. It uses the strength map to lerp in the color, and the color is set by the temperature along with the gradient, so it spits out a color at the spot where the collision happened. What did you do on the weekend? Oh, you know. I could have done that. Okay, yeah, so that's always just accessible. Alright, let's just make you that, for neatness' sake. Delete you. Yes, get out of here. Oh no. I see. So yeah, couldn't be more obsessed with Shader Graph. I've gained access to new heights of visual creativity, in that I can explore these kind of concepts without having to learn a whole language. I love, I learned to code. I swear by Playmaker initially, because it introduced me to all these concepts branching logic and without realizing and learning about execution order and things like that. So this, I feel like, is similar. First step. Okay, color gradient. So yeah, cool. So now we can take this. Oh, this is so soothing. Not this song. I don't care about this song. This is soothing too. Hey there, we're going to. Sensor 1 temperature, sensor 1 strength. They're all in there. Okay. And you can do little folders and things like that as well. It's very cool. It's very cool. Now the next step for me will be learning how to actually programmatically, if that's the word, add these bundles so I don't have to have a defined number of sensors and sensor names. So like for each I think I'm figuring it out in my head. For each sensor, add node, and then some sort of like index and naming system, which I already sort of have. In fact, that's a good idea. I'm gonna write that down. Feedback system, touch feedback system v2. Add nodes based on sensors with index and naming convention. Sick. If you have a good idea, write it down. So all this becomes that, which is very soothing. So I should be able to delete. Hang on, let's do one at a time. Sensor 2, temperature, position. Create node temperature. How's this tune? Okay, so that blends there. Blep. Let's just keep this down here for now. Get that more like that. Keep them all in a little row. This is so satisfying. Like Mary Kondoing my shader graph. Hey, what happened to... Oh, fuck. Alright. Went overboard. I went overboard. I went too far. So I'm not starting on it straight away because I am committed to spending some personal development time every morning. It's like warm-ups, it's, you know, it's this whole idea of the one thing and my understanding what the most important thing to do that day is. And look, the most important thing at the moment is to ship this app. But I do believe that overall the most important thing I can do is do creative development every day. Because it just like makes me so much more effective at everything else I do. Like the digging simulator that I worked on last year, like it's just, you know, what are you making that for? And I was like, it's just like warm-ups basically. And like the number of times where like we worked on this like AR map app, and I was like, oh yeah, look, we just need to rotate the inverse transform of the map relative to the user, relative to the camera. And they're like, how did you know that? I'm like, well, it was the same thing with the shovel and the dirt. Like everything was like, oh yeah, I did that in the digging simulator, but you know, instead of it being like a shovel, it's like a gold brick, it's an IoT sensor, you know? So it's like, so anyway, long story short, the thing that I'm about to do today though, once I've done here, is like essentially ship like the biggest app of my life to QA. My whole, like the team that I work with, like we've all been working on it for 6 months, and it was supposed to be ready yesterday. It is ready, but I just like want to do another pass of just like fine tooth comb, because like last night I was just like, fuck, who gives a shit. So that's exciting. Like yeah, once I'm tapped out here, I'm gonna ship an app, which obviously I can't stream because of like 50,000 interlocking NDAs, but that's a lot of NDAs. But this is perfect because it's like so low stakes. I'm just like raking the garden of my app. Color gradient, you will be missed. You can't say that on Twitter. So I've been learning a little bit about color mixing, and I'm not 1000% sure that the multiply mode is the way to go, but whatever. That's fine. That's fine. So let's make this color. Alright, so that should just work perfectly and nothing will go wrong, so I'll just save that. And it's broken. Alright. No color. We want some color. I'm just going to turn this table off. I've got to get out of the habit of doing like all the work in one scene. It's very lazy. Any questions, shout them out. Or email me on streaminglive.samueltate.com the graveyard shift. Oh, wait, no, this is the morning show. The morning show. Every show has a name. So it gets the position, not absolute world, just world. It shouldn't be world space, it should be object space. It's really annoying. I can't figure out why object space doesn't work. It seems to only not work on the skin mesh renderer. Hey, what's the deal with skin mesh renderers? Okay, so we position, distance, divide, clamp, lerp. So it looks basically the same. It's getting the sensor temperature, that's doing its thing. Its gradient is this. Okay, so yeah, no, it's the color's getting set right. Power, and it's spitting out a vector 4, which is a color. So what are all these temperatures? Should we? Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of these colors. I'm at it. Color bottom. Oh yeah. Oh no! Fuck. All right. We're good. Let's make sure the first one's right before we do anything else. So what we should be seeing is a little square of color in one of the corners. I lost all frame of reference, but I think this corner. No reference object not set to an instance of an object. No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with it. Oh boy, tough crowd. Have I forgotten to do something? So this gets multiplied by strength. The lerp is just the lerp. Ah, hang on. Is that right? I should have kept one of the fucking things, shouldn't I? What would it be connected to? The age-old question. It's going to albedo, that's good. Color gradient should be that, but it also shouldn't be anything. Hey, alright. We're in business, but why? Okay, so I'm going to do something here. Then move over a little bit. No. Okay, cool. So it just wasn't connected to the color gradient I wanted, which makes me very worried. So it shouldn't be affected by the input. Oh wait, no, we set it back to be affected by the input, didn't we? See, that's really interesting. So let's split them up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and get a better vision of how the colors all sit together, because I have a feeling that they're like overriding each other, which is not what we want. I think because of that blend. So if I go 100 degrees and then so negative 50, 50, negative 50, 50, 1, 1, 1, 1. And I say, so this is, so if I just get them all to the same, oh, okay, here we go, that's right. So they're all jammed in one thing. That looks pretty cool, actually. Let's actually make them 0.4. It'd be cool if they're like little zigzag. Anyway, I'll put on a fucking art show. Well, I am actually. This is an art show. Welcome. Sensor 2 position? There's no sensor 2. This shader was fucking very messed up. What happened? What happened? Alright. That's weird. Why are these ones? Whatever. Oh. Are these actually these? They must be, because they... Okay, so let's say... Where are you? Oh, hang on. Don't forget to save the asset, everybody. Okay, 0.4, 0.3. I guess you guys may as well watch what I'm doing. 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. Fuck. 0. So they're tiny when they're by themselves, but cause they're overlapping, they're multiplying? Is that good? I don't know if that's what I want. I guess each... No, that's kind of right. It's pretty weird though. 0.2, let's get them further apart. 0, negative 0.2, 1, negative 0.2, 0.4, no, negative 0.4. What? What happened? It's weird, it's like the ghost in the machine. No, it's not right. It's not the ghost in the machine. So firstly, the blue is stronger than the red. Let's see if we can... It's so weird. All these strengths are the same. This one's like opposite. Maybe the blend mode's different there. This is great though, I can actually see what's fucking going on. Ah, okay, yeah, there we go. I was right before and I was wrong to change it. There we go, that makes more sense. Cool, alright. Looks pretty good, actually. So yeah, these represent temperatures, each one. Oh, hang on. Go to cold, sensor 1 on the left. So as we get colder. Yeah, cool. Whoa. It's funny when you're like making one thing and you're like, oh, this could be like a generative twister game. And technically these are like orbs of temperature as well. They're like color maps. I don't know how I've done it, to be honest. Well, I do, but I can't explain it. It's just basically like each pixel's distance from the target point is like lerped. Like they used to lerp the strength of the pixel's color. So if you can imagine these like orbs of temperature, which actually ended up being kind of like, it's kind of janky how it works, but it's cool. Alright, I'm gonna get another coffee. Thank you very much. Section 1. Oh, hang on. I'll do the thing. People love it when he does the thing. Thank you very much. You've had. We're gonna be right back after a break, but we've reset up our color sensors so that the colors look good, like you knew they should. So right now we've got a color space that's gonna represent an ambient temperature space. So when you put your hand in it, you know how it feels, much like a refrigerator. Much like a refrigerator. I just had an idea. You could actually just fill the fridge with the ambient color space as opposed to doing it on a collision. So it's like collision color. Anyway, I'll write that down. But I'll do it right now. Ambient color spaces, not just collision. Similar to like a post effects volume. I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'll be back in 5. And we're back. There we go. So right now I'm pretty happy with the shader stuff. I'm glad I just tackled that color gradient. I think it would be way better. Pretty happy with the sound and the touch. It's all really good. But my fucking hand meshes aren't appearing. They definitely. I had this epiphany before. They must be tracking. Like it's tracking the hand because. I love a good coffee. Oh, who doesn't love a good cup of coffee in the morning? Am I right? Don't tell me you don't love a good cup of coffee in the morning. Part of the reason I always have it like this is because I've got big headphones on, and a pony, and I just tell you what, I love the idea. I love virtual reality. I dedicated my life to it essentially, which is pretty funny. Fucking sick of it because I like it. Just when you spend all day building in it, you just grind on it so hard. I just never use it for fun anymore. So we're gonna take some drugs. I'm just joking about the drug stuff. Parody. So look, this is the current. Hang on, switch views. This is the current look dev. Really happy with it. Feels good to be in. The hatching looks good. I'm gonna drop the sharp shadows that don't make sense anymore. I don't like them. So you see the objects interact with the light and also are all grubby. By everything interacts with light, obviously. But yeah, why are the hands tracking, you fucks? I reckon I'm honestly not far off my goal of making something that feels good to touch. The Pinecone will be good to touch. This will be good to touch. When I make this bouncy, oh boy, watch out. Oh, you know you better watch out. But I gotta figure out this fucking material thing. So look, it's not gonna be exciting to watch, unlike the last section, which was riveting. But it's gotta be done. So we get any errors? About the dummy scene. I've kind of butchered the prefab. Never butcher the prefab. It's funny, you know all these rules and then you just immediately break them. Sample framework. I guess I need to make the sample framework more prominent. I had no idea all the everything's in a folder called usage. Yeah, this is cooked. Maybe we'll be able to get a hand mesh. Alright, let's settle down. We know they're tracking because they're moving things around when you're doing it. Works on the Quest. What's the difference between the Quest and the Go? I mean, not the Go. What's this? Computer. PC. What's the difference between this and the PC? Testing situation where I don't have to. cool. Now it's looking at me, so I should be able to do that. That's cool too. Hello? Come on, don't be like that, Questy. There we go. What's going on with that hand? What's going on with that hand? Left hand anchor. Got a huge day today. So I'm only going to do this for 2 hours. We've got a maybe a new thing kicking off this morning with a new potential partner that will be absolutely game changing. Then I gotta fucking finish this other app. Bloody hell, another day, another dollar, eh? Look how I fucking love computers. Yeah, fucking 10-year-old me would be like, this is so cool, your life rules, man. 19-year-old me would be like, man, what the heck? But secretly be jealous. And also maybe a bit threatened. System gesture material, confidence behavior. Is it something to do with this? What would be different about the confidence behavior? Update, hand, pointer pose, shush you. Hand lift, auto, sensor joint. Actually, I just remembered a bug. Oh yeah, I already put it there. Hand out of whack. Write everything down. You'll never remember it. System gesture. None. Look, here's a hand. I just want it to work. Ugh, did it just fucking lose tracking? Fuck you, Link. Yeah, dank. Okay, so, no ideas. Still. I can figure this out. I feel like I figured this out before. It was like the opposite problem. I fixed this. How? Maybe I'll undo what I did. System gesture material, OVR mesh. OVR mesh render. Maybe it just needs, maybe it's just lost the references. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Oh, that'd be bloody funny. Where is the OVR mesh? What is the OVR mesh? Oh, no, it's not broken. It's still there. We're one generation away from like a game-changing VR headset. Guarantee it. Facebook will sell it for $400. They'll do everything they can to just give it away to get kids in it and hooked. Is that a hand? Come here. Oh, is it just... What's going on here? Hello, I'm here. Notice me, senpai. Alright, let me just... I did it! What did I do? What did I do? See, look at this. So the plant's cold, and it's like, brr. It kind of just looks like it's temperature. Everything's cold. Did it. I did it. What did I do? I am a golden god. What did I do? I literally didn't do anything. Fuck, that's not good. It's always a really bad sign when that happens because it means you just don't know what the fuck's going on. 0, 0, 0, right hand anchor. I feel like I should just run for 0. It's gonna bite me in the ass, isn't it? It's weird how you can't get. Oh, don't worry about it. Well, alright, you know what, I'll talk about it if this works. No! You were working. What did I just do then? What did I undo? Alright, well. That's almost better. When something works when it shouldn't, that's worse than when something doesn't work when it shouldn't work, if that makes sense. If you realize you've got like a fundamental like flaw in your understanding, you're cooked. Maybe the hands are just rendering off in the middle of nowhere. Is that a thing? No, I'd be able to see it. Hang on. Headset, stay up there. You can do it. So OVI hand prefab has a reference to itself there. Pardon me. It's just not. But it worked. What? Okay, so what did it do? What do I need to do differently? Definitely on the right track with this look. It's exciting. I'm glad I spent some time doing look dev. It's easier to get more excited about the project because it feels like it's not just a tech experiment, it's like an extension of my creative yada yada. So the confidence behavior is toggling it. System gesture behavior is shouldn't do anything because not doing a gesture. What did I just fucking do to make it work? Let's tease. Gently heal. No errors, it's not commenting anything back really. Okay. Both of you. None. Just work, you mother. You bloody drongos. Come on, you bloody drongos. Just System behavior, none. System gesture material, none. So when you do a gesture, you can switch materials. I'm really excited about playing around with like the material response stuff. It seems like it's pretty much baked into Oculus's stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm in the classic like it all stopped working point of every project that I've ever been on, where everything just stops working again. Any potential clients listening to this, just flag that I also then get it to work. That's my main thing. So what was different then? I wonder if it's just like an execution order thing. It goes differently on the Quest versus PC. See if we say controllers only for a second and just be like, hey. Okay. You gotta trick it. I feel like I should zoom out a bit so you can see my like Jedi hand trick shit. And what could it be? What's the variable? Is it luck? Can't be luck. That's not how computers work. Or is it? Look, I think this is the best stream in history. So it finds its own mesh. Maybe let's turn off the sensor spawner. I don't think it should be affecting it, but give it some other Drongo material. Maybe it needs 2 materials? Maybe it needs 2 materials. Root bone is itself. Okay, let's have a look. 1300, how's my mumbling? It's so close. Well, no, actually we're not getting any closer. Come on, you bloody pinecone. Don't mock me with your constant rolling. I want to touch you more, Mr. Pinecone. Alright, I'm having like an ecstatic experience here, so I'll dial it down. How's this ASMR level mumbling? Google Translate definitely seems to be able to handle it a bit easier when I'm mumbling into the mic. That's interesting. I wonder if that means it's also easier to discern for the average listener. Like ASMR dev. Oh, that's not ASMR, is it? Alright, concentrate. I'm not going to say anything anymore. I gotta fucking fix this bug or I'm going to have a meltdown. What the fuck is going on here? Mesh. The assigned mesh doesn't support skinning. A valid setup requires bone weights. That doesn't matter. You know what? I wish Dilma were here. He'd know what to do. So we can just fucking shake it up and click some random shit. Turn everything on. Something's gotta give. What's this? The right hand. Whatever. We should just give it another material as well. Imagine if it turned out it was my material that broke it. The press would have a field day. Oh, why can't you be fingers? Bah! What am I fucking doing here? What am I doing wrong? Kind of like see everything as a moral failing. Not really. I'm pretty so it's definitely swapping. Look, React instance. Maybe just not having a render to toggle to. That's what's going on there. It's going reactor. Oh, hang on. Reactor instance base class, or the. We can see the hand. You're reacting to it. It's in the name. All right. So the reactor, look, that shade is fine. I could do a different. All right, let's put a different material on it. I don't see how that would be the problem, but you know what? I've been wrong before. Let's just get some random Drongo material for idiots on it. Why is it changing to the instance? Is that my code? Seems like something I'd do. Bit of a bad boy in that way. No, I just always make material instances, but it's not like properly implemented, which also seems like something I'd do. Whatever. Relax the mind. All right. Come on. What happened? No, having a different material doesn't seem to help. Thought so. You know, that material swapping actually was, yeah, that was a different issue. So let's just Control Z that. Anything to do with the anchor? Imagine if I just started crying. They say gold held lightly is more easily achieved, so what does that say about my relationship with what I'm doing? It's fine, guys. I just say melancholic stuff. I'm part Irish. Update when off screen? Maybe it thinks it's off screen? It's none of this shit, but whatever. Literally isn't even generating it. Because I saw when it did work, it was up floating off in the distance. The thing is, it works in headset, like in the build, but I just can't accept that because I just won't be able to keep testing stuff, you know? What's the fucking okay. Let's see, let's debug dot, I guess you guys can watch me code. Mesh initialized. You know it's getting initialized, so let's setting up all the bones. So if we get to there, it's let's just go for each what's bone weights? Actually is bone weights. Age-old question. For each bone weight, bone in bone weights. Bone dot. What have we got? What's available? Each bone has a bone index of bone dot weights 0. Dot log. Bone weight is. I don't actually care about this. I'm just trying to look under the hood and see what's getting generated. If we're generating a skeleton, it's good. Obviously, need a skeleton to live. If we're not, then something. It's more about like initialization thing, which I think it must be. Because when it was working just before, there wasn't like a. Okay, let's have a look. No bone weights. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not generating a mesh at all. Why the fuck not? Did I actually save this? Yes. Okay, so what kicks you off? Awake. Mesh. If data provider is null, get one. If data get mesh type, initialize, get mesh type. If data provider is null, so where is the data provider? It's private. It gets it. Mesh renderer is what is a data provider? Let me guess. It's a fucking. It's this. I wonder what like mistake I've made to for this to not be working. Get mesh renderer data. Okay, so the component's on there, so that's fine. Well, let's just log the shit out of it. OVR mesh. We'll see what it breaks down. Dot log. Getting data provider. Get mesh type. Initialize. Debug dot init mesh. Get mesh type plus mesh type. So why aren't you waking up? Default execution order is -80. Why? Fucking execution orders can get fucked. Every company that... Alright. Settle down. Streaming has made me realize how stressed out I get when I code. For no reason. Like... Actually, you know what? That's not fair. I'm really, really worn out. It's been a really long year. Not so much the coronavirus stuff's been tough, but like the past year in general. It's been a really good year, but it's been a mesh. So the mesh is get mesh type hand, right? What happens? It just doesn't get to the bottom. Why not? Do you wanna? So there is an OVR plugin class. Let's check out that execution order. guessing this if is failing, because otherwise I'd be getting an error. So it's like if there's an AVR plugin, what kind of? This is good code. It's terribly commented. It's not commented. It's fucking bummer. I get it though. Like they kind of work at like a social media company, and it's probably like really good tech practices, but it's not like, you know what? No, that's not fair. These are really good examples and code bases and stuff like that. They're just not well documented or commented enough, which is pretty common. Like in a meaningful way, like they're like plug it in and it just works. Code is fine. Like their documentation in that regard, their actual code, I think they're not really expecting people to look at it that much, I guess. But it's like good code. It's super usable. Like everything here is like accessible. The class structure, everything's set up really well. Actually, you know what? It's even well documented. It's just not commented. But I guess maybe it just doesn't need to be. Maybe they don't expect idiots to use it. I reckon it's an execution order thing. I reckon if I put OVR plugin earlier than this other thing, and that would explain why it was what's the event system set at -1,000? It's fucking dumb. Relax. Okay, maybe not. So does maybe it's like an editor script, so it never gets what's the word? To work. Hey Siri, message Chloe if you are ready in like 30 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. We can go for a walk before my next meeting.
Your message to Chloe Maya says if you are ready in like 30 minutes, 15
It's
minutes,
fine.
something like. Okay, it's sent.
So what is this? OVR mesh. What if we just wait a frame? Do this a bit later. OVR manager, OVR screen fade. What's your fucking screen fader? Maybe I do. If get mesh. What's going on here? If get mesh. Okay. So if it's a newer version, it makes the mesh, returns results. So I assume this is a newer version, so otherwise it just returns just nothing. So if we just do that, just force it to return a success. I would normally never like change base code like this because it's just not sustainable. I am currently at a phase called poking around. Let's change this task. Let's just get rid of that for a second. So it's returning a mesh and a true. I'm gonna park that for now. See if it's something a bit less. Maybe it's like I need to be active before I start or something like that. Look, I'm just gonna build out. I know it works in headset. And then I'll probably just wrap up the stream because I've got a massive day and we'll give it 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes to have a breakthrough. Maybe, can I go on Twitter? Can't even ask my friends on Twitter. People on Twitter, your friends? I talk about them like they're my friends. Then I realize like half of them probably don't even know me, and I probably don't even know half of them. You know, it's this weird like human centipede of awareness where I follow people, and so that's a bummer. I'm getting the can't fix the bug blues, which probably means it's time to wrap it up. I would normally just grind through this for 5 hours, but I have such a big day today. And I'm not getting fucking anywhere. Alright. One shining moment where it worked for some reason. What if we made the execution order later? Wait a minute. Nah, it can't be this. Dang it. Oculus is up to date. I'm so out of ideas. I'm just gonna build it. You know what? Fuck it, I'm building it. Fuck it, we're going live. Alright, so what are we dealing with here? You have got to stop rolling around, buddy. I'm just gonna build it. I wonder if there's a way I can stream to my desktop from my Quest. Stream to desktop from Quest. That'd be super handy. No, the other way around, you fucking drongos. Everyone wants the wrong information. Oh, boy. I get stand up over nothing, don't I? Not much good working. Nope. I'm just gonna build. Floor higher before I do it. Other player space lower. West floor level. It's all too high. That's what I'm getting at. Too high. Alright. It's a delicate balance. Where's my scene view? That's pretty good. Alright. Copy that. Wonder if I've broken the rest. I'm trying to fix it. Alright. Paste component values, file, build settings. Build settings, oh here we go, build. It's coming along though. Yeah, it's tricky when you've got like a bug like that where it's sort of inscrutable. I find the best thing, you know, at a certain point you do need to tackle it, but if you spend like, say you're doing a day a week on something, if you spend each day for a month just grinding against that one thing that's not changing, it can be really disheartening. So sometimes it's good to switch gears and be like, alright, well, what else can I work on? What can I test? Really stoked with this color. Oh, hang on. You know what? I'm gonna do Sam's thoughts. Okay. While we're building, let's turn that off. We don't need that. What else can we put up here? Nothing. Alright, I'll just turn it off. Intro view. Sam's final thoughts. So yeah, look, it's a bummer when you hit a wall like that, but you know, a lot of the job is working through, you know, misconfigurations and trying to combine one thing with another. 90% of what I'm doing is kind of alchemy of like one bleeding edge system with another bleeding edge system. My friend is convinced you can only have one cool thing per project. I'm pretty sure you can have two. And yeah, it is important to like manage like, all right, what am I testing? How's this working out? Things like that. So you don't get stuck on the one thing that you grind on and not move forward on like what you're actually trying to do. That being said, I like will have to debug why the mesh renderers aren't appearing on the desktop because it just makes it so hard to what's the word? Test, I guess. But I'll test it out on headset. I'll film it. I'm so close to like what would be called like the initial spec. I'll probably do some more art later on. I know that I know the hand tracking works. I can go back to LookDev for a little bit and you know, I sort of know how it'll work as well, so I can switch gears for a bit, get the scene up and running. Still a bit of a bummer. That's okay. Anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. I'll probably do a stream of art this afternoon and the graveyard shift with my friends where we play some video games at the end of the day. So yeah, Friday stream day. Probably, I reckon. I feel like I've got about another rest of the month left in me for this format. Obviously, I'm at home in quarantine, so I got nothing else to do. Well, I've got so much to do, but it's all on my computer, and it's all this. Thanks very much. I'm signing off. Keep streaming, keep dreaming. That's me and my friends workshop that at work yesterday. Oh, here we go. Actually, I'll just test this out now while I'm at it. CMD. CD. Actually, you guys don't need to see this. I did the sign off already.